Hello viewers, this is bRanN, and we are playing Obduction. We're over here on the industrial planet because I got an idea. There's something we haven't done over here, and I want to try it out. We'll also be testing my sense of direction to see if I am going where I think I am. Oh, I did it! Alright, so we got... Hold on. Where's the... Is this... Oh. I'm freaking out. Like, this is where I was, right? This is the machine we activated. These are the pistons we engaged. There used to be a machine here, and now there's a giant rock that I don't remember if it was here before or not. Did it crush? And now I'm looking at this bridge, and there's a rod, and apparently it raised the machine up. That's interesting. What? Oh, gosh. So, we have a number that we got from a journal, and I wanted to enter that. I wanted to try, but I'm going to have to figure out how to reset this number. And this is going to be a giant pain in the butt to have it wrong side up. But if I flip it back down, I don't think I can easily get to the ground floor from this platform. No, there's nothing there. So I think I have to do it sideways. Oh my gosh, guys. I don't know, but I gotta try. I gotta try. 4, 9. That's the number. Does that enter? Oops. I didn't mean it. What? Wait. What was the point? I don't understand. Oh my gosh. I don't. This isn't connected to anything, right? I think that code released the thing that holds it. Oh gosh, that's Russian. This is some kind of Easter egg. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get a higher detailed picture of this, and I'm gonna send this over to my Russian buddy, Zloy, and we'll see what it says. I figured. Let's try it again. Nada. All right, let's talk to the in-game hint system, which is talking to our pal CW here. He'll either help us along or yell at us for being dumb.
Pardon me, but you've got trees in other worlds.
Oh yeah?
Roots to connect.
Okay.
Connect that cable on the side of the battery if you make it. Go on now.
Side of the battery. Wouldn't he know if I connected it? That's what's kind of bugging the heck out of me. Wait a minute. This wasn't connected before. Who connected that? That actually don't make no lick of sense. Because I didn't do it. Hold on. Where'd this go? Game, I don't like when things happen that don't make sense. You know, you understand what I mean? There was a thing here. It couldn't have gone this way because it's a dead end. This wasn't plugged in. What's going on here, people? Did I do something in another world that triggered the train to go through here? Except that doesn't help me. I want to be over here. I want to go through that door, but I can't because this thing's still in my way. Oh, bummer. I thought for sure if I could climb over here, I could get over here somehow. All right, so I'm taken to the journals. So this whole system of domes and abduction and moving things is apparently the Vylene's technology. And really interesting on this page is the author was talking about how she saw, and a really interesting note here is the author of this journal saw a mofang running toward the dome from the outside and then just passing through, and she passed through to get to the other side and then seeing him run out the other end. So from the outside, you can't even tell that these domes of land are there. And you don't even realize that you're passing through it. Either you don't realize or the person that was going through it doesn't care. But this would make sense as to how this giant chunk of Arizona, which apparently is where all this land is from, no one notices it's gone because they keep going and they disappear. It's really weird. It sounds like she also thinks, I'm assuming the author's girl, I don't know, to be honest, that being abducted actually saved each person. Like they were at a key moment where something terrible was going to happen to them had they not been grabbed. And then she's also postulating that maybe all of us were corporately saved from corporately, like as a large group, something larger. Can we really be sure what's left? Is Earth still there? I'm sure it's, come on. It's still there. And in here she's talking about how she had a dream that basically showed her she was doing our human way, right, of controlling the garden, but that the garden seemed like it was going to be able to survive more so on its own. And then she's relating that to this entire system of domes and seeds. And what if it's not about us that we're abducted? What if we're just some kind of offshoot, some part of the natural process that's occurring in this system? Maybe it's a giant plant. Plant's probably not the right word, but what could we call it? From our perspective, we don't understand. But it's some sort of natural system that just has its ebbs and flows, and for some reason we're just caught up in it. What if it's got nothing to do with us? And that's a funny thought, I think. That's really interesting. What am I in the entire scheme of the universe? Tomorrow I will talk with CW. He could be swayed from his battery plan. We're going to use the tree as a giant battery, and I'm helping him do that. And her concern is if this is a natural system, we actually, in our attempt to force to control everything, could destroy all of it. Oh, great. Uh-oh, prepare to get all philosophical. It's us or them. If this is some kind of garden, and we're the plants or seeds or whatever, if the others have unilaterally decided that we won't survive, what gives one species the right to destroy another? Who gets to choose? Do I just lay down and die because the more aggressive species thinks they're better, more powerful? Does love ever destroy? All right, well, here's the thing. Paint a pretty picture all you want. Talk about nature and love and the meaning of life. We're the ones that are alive. We're the ones that are here, taken against our will. And we're going to do what is necessary to survive. Now, we're not going to maim, murder, and kill if it's not necessary to maim, murder, and kill, but if our life is in danger, we're going to protect it. That is our nature. And if that's going to be a really negative thing for this planet, this land, they should have constructed their systems in such a way that they don't abduct us. Because we're not going to lay down and die. That's ridiculous. Okay, I'm trying to put this all together, make sure I understand. So these guys, these are the Vileen, right? Or as that other gentleman referred to them as, the villains. I'm going to call them Vileen for now. I'm going to not assume they're bad and not use my English word for the bad guy. That planet that we went to most recently that looks all high-tech, and it's got those weird white bridges, those extruded shapes, they're called in this journal, this notebook. That's their technology. And that was actually a camp that should have put everyone in stasis and taken off. But instead, for some reason, they decided to stay living there, or something happened. So there's some reason they didn't leave. The Ari, the polyarchs, so like the brains and the beetles, and then those barnacles, those eggs. This is a more natural race that kind of just exists, I guess. But for some reason, they were abducted as well. And again, maybe not for any particular reason, just because they were in the way. But it was one of these guys that lady that wrote the journal was communicating with, sort of, and also possibly communicated to her in her dreams, explaining the story of the garden and how this is all a natural system and controlling it can only kind of end in disaster. And the Mofang. The Mofang can imitate human speech. So that person we were talking to is most definitely a Mofang. And of course, he was villainizing the Vilines. So it makes sense. I don't think he was hiding his true race. He was just hiding his true allegiance. We also saw one of these guys like halfway transported. I think they're the villain, but I'm not sure. Funny fact here. The reason they kind of sound why they do is because they believe, instead of attempting to learn every human language, as a result, we're never able to lock onto any consistent grammatical structure because there's so many different people here with so many different ways of speaking, and they wanted to learn them all. I think Farley, the caretaker of this house, actually was probably the person that wrote that journal that we read before. I know it's already been covered by somebody that's talked to us about who the bad guy is, what's going on, who's been helping, who's been hurting, all that sort of stuff. The thing is, at the time, I didn't really have a good grasp of who was who. And so without that knowledge, it's kind of difficult to attach that information to anything for at least myself, how my brain works. You guys might be way more advanced. So I'm going around trying to reread some of these and figure out what is going on, and then also summarize it for you all so we can all be on the same page. Get it? Because it's a book and a page and notes. Yeah, so I'm sorry, I'll stop. Our first clue is here, but once again, it's ambiguous. Tham informs us that the Vilines just completed their construction and have started testing. But that doesn't say if they're hurting or helping us. There is an odd justice to Farley's plan in that whatever the Mofang bastards send to kill us will be returned back to them. Okay, so we're obviously fighting with the Mofang. Are we also fighting with the other dudes? We also have something called the Bleeder, which I think I've heard a little bit about off and on. So this whole ecosystem is, it seems like gaining power, and they're concerned what's going to happen once it gains enough. Is it going to open? Is the barrier going to fall? Now, right now, the barrier, we can go through it, but will the entire barrier open and let what's outside in and what's inside out? So we have a system in place that's actually suppressing the ecosystem's power in order to prevent the trees from fully maturing. And they think that's going to grant us direct control over the tree. Great. The rate of dissipation is sensed and regulated automatically. When the maximum power is exceeded, the dissipation phase is triggered, creating an electrical charge, followed by a discharge into the water. And as you know, discourage swimming when the bleeder is operational. CW. So we have the tree and this entire system, ecosystem, whatever it is. And it's alive. It's natural. It's we can only use the word plant because it's the only word we understand to describe it. But we're concerned. We're scared. What happens when this system is allowed to continue? So we've put stuff in place to prevent it from being able to continue. Now the Mofang are attacking us. Maybe the Mofang want the system to continue. Perhaps us stopping the system from continuing is why they're attacking or why they attacked. Why they aren't continuing to attack right now, I don't know. Here's the Bleeder. And then you have the Viline, which I would assume it's their technology, but it must not be. The Viline helped us build a lot of our machines. The Viline built the number system that lets us interact with their technology. The Viline have been nothing but good to us, and they were finished building the tunnels, is that little snippet of text that we saw, but they're probably helping us build tunnels, I would think. The Mofang have mimicked us and talked with us, but I haven't read anything about them having done anything good for us. Yeah, it just set out a charge. It's so cool. cool. So yeah, there's a lot we still need to learn, and we've definitely used some of the Mofang technology to our advantage, but it's also an inhibiting technology. All of their stuff like prevents something from happening. Doesn't seem to enhance any of the natural state of things. So that could be some kind of commentary on their place in the world. But as to whose planet this is, I would assume it's the Violines, based on the fact that the last world we were in was theirs. It had a dome, but it wasn't really carved out of a separate planet, though the landscape here doesn't match the landscape there. So we still have a lot of unanswered questions, and if some of these questions are actually answered based on stuff that you've already seen in my videos, just point it out to me down below. We'll learn together. All I know for sure is we're going to get to a point where we're going to have to make a decision. And I'm not saying that with this happens in the game, I know. I don't. But I feel like, ultimately, whether it's decided for us in story or we actually make the choice, we're going to have to come to a decision. Do we take the machines that are controlling this system and utilize it, hook up to the tree, get it fully powered, use it as a giant battery to power some kind of machine that's supposed to take us home, force it to take us back home? Or do we, behind CW's back, decide, you know what, it's actually in our best interest of survival to turn this bleeder system off, to get rid of all the machines that are just inhibiting the natural ecosystem, and trust that the ecosystem was designed on its own to do the right thing? I don't know if we can safely make that conclusion, because nature doesn't do right or wrong. Nature just does nature. And of course, this has been bRanN, and I will see you next video. Have a great day.